Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Motorsport Manager. Timix here, and have not had to do this in a while, but we are restarting from the Ashes Challenge. And I think it's going to be a bit of a tough one, but I'm going to do the best I can with it. I've come up with a few different things to try. So, first of all, if we look at the headquarters here, I don't think this is going to accomplish a whole lot. But it was the only thing that I could figure out. We have plenty of money for this season, so the only thing I could think of to potentially improve that might help. It's the staff center here. And fitness and focus for the drivers. It'll get done with a few races left. It might help one of them get an extra point or two. So that's a possibility. Not going to make a huge difference, but maybe it gives us a little something extra at the end. On the car itself, I did notice that with the ability that Oliveira has, she wasn't burning out the engine as quickly. So once I get the reliability up, I'm going to have her go ahead and use this engine, which is a stronger one. And then, give her weaker other parts, give Lipinen better parts and the other stuff to sort of balance them out. That should give her, a higher ceiling for how well she can do. It has the bigger red zone, but I think the engine expert thing is going to allow her to, take more advantage of situations and not burn it out as fast. I also, let me make sure that she starts with it. And, yep. Higher engine modes no longer impact condition. So, I'm going to track how she's doing, and if I think it's going to work, I'll even do more weight stripping with her than normal. But it took me about 3 races, I think, last time. I only made it through 4. It took me 2 or 3 races to figure out that I wanted to drive with full tank of fuel and more aggressively with her. So starting that out earlier might help her get a couple more positions. And then if we have any opportunities, like I turned down last time, to do a little bit of industrial espionage, or whatever you call it, to buy a part schematic from the other teams. Or if I have a chance to unsettle Dieter Wexler and buy him, I'll do that. Whatever I need, whatever opportunities like that, a bit cheesy though they may be, present themselves, I'll do those to get through the challenge. So, I don't really have a silver bullet here, because Scuderia Orsini got unlucky last time and they were still beating us. I don't really have a big change that I can make, but maybe with a few small ones we can get it done. We'll see. So this is going to go in montage format. It's going to be the same video for both the light and the standard playlists. And I'm going to try to present in this video the 4 races that I went through last time. I'll just show the last few laps of each. And that way you don't have to go through them all. We can keep the LP moving. But at the same time, hopefully show a progression, and that we're still in it with a real chance at the end of those races. If not, then I could be in some trouble here. But I have yet to run into a challenge in this game so far that, with enough attention to it, couldn't figure out a way to get by it. So hopefully that's going to be the case again here. In the case, we'll see everybody at the end of Cape Town and find out what happens there. Well, Cape Town went pretty much according to plan, much like the last time. The key to it was managing the weather, switching between rain and dry periods in all three phases: practice, qualifying, and the race. The one complication that we had is that Zoe Sharp crashed in the middle of the wet period of the race. So we had built up a pretty big lead and they were able to catch up to us. But Oliveira winning almost wire to wire, and there was never a real serious question whether or not she was going to win pretty much after the opening laps. Lundqvist and Ribeiro also crashed. Ribeiro was right in front of Oliveira on this turn coming up soon. I don't remember exactly where it is. Yeah, here it is. Just kept going and slammed right into that corner. But there again has not been a serious challenger, and those were not full cautions. Only Sharp was a full caution. So we managed the pit stops in between the weather better and rolling to a first and second finish. So we can't really complain about that. Of course, that just means that we've done what we did last time, but we can see we're going to have a 43-point lead, 219 to 176. Wexler trying to make up some ground, but had to do some repairs partway through the race. So this all went very well, and we have to hope we can try to holding the lead now. Now that we've established a solid lead, we weren't able to hold it last time. So if we can hold it better over the next few races, that's going to be the key. Well, Guildford did not go as planned. As we can see here, we are 5th and 8th. Chapman's pitting, but going to come out here. And mostly this was just bad luck. I did it a couple different times. This is actually the worst we did in terms of the points. Well, Lipponen ahead of Chapman. Can't really... Boy, I've got to try to push it here. Just stay ahead of him for a little bit longer and then maybe... But, no... Oliveira had bad qualifying, so we're 4th for Lipponen and 9th for Oliveira, and yeah, it's not going to hold. Okay. 4th for Lipponen, 9th for Oliveira at the start of the race, and then Lipponen had a terrible start, so that we were back in 10th and 11th. And then we got stuck behind Gonzalez here, who's going to finish 7th in traffic, and that lost us more time. So I did... really, from my perspective, everything I could in terms of strategy. Yeah, I know, I don't care. I only had one pit stop. Stayed on super softs as long as I could so I didn't get stuck in even worse traffic. You know, and I don't feel that any significant mistakes were made. This was just a bad luck race for us. And it sucks, but that's sort of just the way it is. And now we have one lap to go. And Lipponen, nothing to race for here. Just want to stay ahead of Saarinen. Oliveira. I really can't push anymore. I mean, I'm behind Sharp, but I'm not going to catch Sharp. Sharp is behind Gonzalez, which is why that backup is happening. But just not, like, if Oliveira had finished up a couple spots, I mean, that would be big. But we just couldn't quite make it. And so here's where we're going to end up. We lose half of our lead, basically. So there is one more thing that I learned that I could tweak in terms of strategy at the very beginning of the challenge. But, you know, the other thing I got is I got Lipponen before Cape Town. He got the fitness course thing, which gives him +2 fitness and +5 improvability. Might see some benefit of that towards the end of the challenge. But, I mean, if we don't do better the next couple races, that's not really going to matter. So, that was Guildford. Hopefully the next race is better. And then we get to the end here, and we see that Sharp was demoted 2 races for breaking the rules. Well, that doesn't hurt us, because Oliveira would have finished 9th, now finished in 8th. That's 2 more points. So, Oliveira still drops to 4th overall. Lipinen's still in the lead. But we did still lose some. We only lost, I think, 17 points. Because it was 41 points. Yeah, so that's still not good. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. A couple times I've been almost even on this race. It's just a tough one. And, of course, the next one's Milan. That's going to be even harder. So after the race, we had this question come up again. And, again, I'm going to, go ahead and take it. And we did drop the morale of our drivers by saying we'd be interested in Wexler. But he adds the, that ability. So we can try to sign him. And then, even the playing field here. And we're going to get a better engine this time. The last time they only offered us a rear wing, which wasn't that important to us. They get us an engine. So we're going to go ahead and take that. So we're being decidedly underhanded and unethical here. But, whatever it takes. So this engine's much better than the ones we have. Let's see, it's 1184, 1069. Yeah, I'll give that one to Lipinen. And then let's go talk to Mr. Wexler here. And I've got money, so it's sorting them by first name. Okay. Dieter Wexler. Okay, so let's say equal status. Average amount per race. Let's give him all the contract length. I'm sure he's going to want a longer one. Buyout clause, 7.5. You know what? Let's do an even split and see how he deals with that. And then every race he wins, we'll give him a bunch more money. Finishes first in qualifying or wins, give him a bunch more money. And yeah, we're going to start with this. And see what it says. Now, it's only got one patience icon. So, you know what? Let's pay all this. See, this is going to take us 11,000. I'm going to take this just a bit lower. 11 million, rather. I don't want to go... You know what I mean? I don't want to go too far in the red. I don't think they'll even let me do that beyond a few million. So, and of course, maybe I shouldn't have bought the staff center. But let's see how this plays out. See if we can pick them up. So these are obviously going to make a big difference for us going forward. And if we can get Wexler away from Scuderia Rossini, frankly, I think we're going to be home free. Like this is the whole ball game right here. So here's what Dieter came back to me with. Not happy with the pay per race. So we'll max that out. Okay with being equal status. I'm insulted by the signing fee. So let's max that out. And it might mean they're not going to even let us do it, but we'll try. And then they don't want that long of a contract, so we'll shorten it up. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to let me go into debt like this, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, here we are at Milan, and I didn't start recording until a little bit later in the race than I wanted to. We only got 2 laps left, so I'm just going to leave this pause for a minute. Now, Wexler's contract renegotiation was actually due hours after the race weekend started. So, we didn't get an answer on that yet. But the new engine that we got has really helped Lipponen. And the strategy I took for this race is, since Milan is so wide open, what I ended up doing is going in for 2 stops and just trying to space out the tires evenly. Lap 14, lap 27, and then 3rd stint here to the end. I'm not sure if that's better or not than stretching it out, because we were in 2nd most of the race behind Chapman. But I think part of that is because I was able to push the tires pretty hard. So I'm not sure about that. So, but I don't think it would have been much better either way. I think it's about a 6-1, half dozen the other type thing. Now here's Oliveira, who's been trying to pick up some places, and it looks like she's going to get by Schmidt here. Come on. Well, I've got I can afford to do a little bit more of this. Come on, get by. Gee whiz, get by. There we go. I'm going to try to hold it with neutral because I don't want to run out of fuel. We're on the final lap. And then Lipponen charging at the end, but can't quite get to Wexler. So ends up finishing 2nd. And Oliveira easily in 6th at the end. No further challenges from Schmidt, who's on medium tires going down. So we look at this, like this is a race where it really started to fall apart for us last time. And again, getting that engine for Lipponen really helped. Because, you know, we actually win the race by a point. So being able to do that on a fast track is huge. And there's Wexler coming in for the champagne. And no major rules violations are found. There was one for one of the bottom drivers, but none of the ones we're concerned about. So, 25-point lead after Milan. And then, of course, the big question is, what happens with Wexler? Okay, so Wexler agrees to the deal. That's step 1. We did get another 1.35 million in, so we're over 7 million now. And I was wondering, just in case, what happens if I... So I don't think it lets me cancel it. It's already halfway built. That would make sense. Okay, so I think what we have to do here is we have to fire Sanjay Modi, who isn't happy anyway. Well, hold on. Let's sign him. Yeah, the chairman won't let us do it. Not at all shocking there, but it's they don't want us to put 8 million in the hole. So, okay. So if I end up having to do this challenge again, what I'd do is not buy the staff center, and then I would have a few more million, and I would probably be able to get away with that. But as it is, yeah, we're going to have to retract the offer. And just proceed on. Now, we're still, because of the new engine that's gotten us, up closer, we're still looking pretty good. And because we didn't split the, well, let me move forward a bit. Because we didn't split the improvement as much around, because the first time around I was trying to work on multiple engines, I was worried about the red zone here. So because we didn't move that around as much, we are now sitting at, yeah, we have maxed out the reliability on everything. And now all we have to do is work on the performance side of things. So we can, I mean, we're not going to be able to max everything out or be close, but for the next race anyway. But we can work on boosting the performance of whatever parts are the most critical. And so if we can get through another race or two without losing too much ground, I still like our chances. Our den didn't go well for us last time either, so hoping for better things in this attempt. So I want to take a look before I go into our den. You can see we're ready for practice and everything here. I've gone through all the pre-race weekend stuff, but the one thing that concerns us about our den is it's a low-speed corner track. The front wing, which ours is abysmal, and that's why we had so much trouble there last time. But our engine is better. You see, our engine's still better than Scuderia Rossini's, and we don't care about everybody else for the most part. So they're probably better than us there, but not by a massive amount. Not by nearly as much as they were last time when I think our engine was down around here. Car still only 4th overall, but we'll have to live with that. Now, I looked at the calendar, and it's kind of discouraging. You can imagine that we're probably going to do pretty good at Phoenix. And then Vancouver, we should be pretty solid there. We're at least mostly competitive in those parts. But then we've got Singapore and Sydney. And both of those, like, gearbox is our next worst part. So Singapore and Sydney are really going to be rough. But there may be rain in some of these. So the general, and then we've got Rio and Dubai, where we should be reasonably decent at, assuming we don't fall too far behind, keep improving the parts performance-wise, and try to at least limit how much further we fall behind there. So the main thing is I don't want to totally lose my lead in our den. Try to finish ahead of them in Phoenix and Vancouver to bolster the lead. Then we're gonna, if we're close after Sydney, is the thing. We can't lose our lead totally here. Got to get some points back in Phoenix and Vancouver because we're going to lose some in Singapore and Sydney. if we're reasonably close after Sydney, maybe we've got a chance. So, we're hoping for some sort of weather disaster like Cape Town, which really helped us. But that's kind of the outlook going forward. So it's still very much dangerous, and I feel the odds still against us. But, there's a chance there. But I know that weather's not going to intervene in our den. It might later on, and probably not in Phoenix and Vancouver. But, we've got a chance of rain at Singapore and Sydney. Get a significant amount of rain, either one of those might be enough to turn the tide. So, we'll see how that works out. And luck favors us again for the second time in as many attempts as this challenge, because we're in trouble at this point. It looks like our lead was going to be totally gone. Wexler had just overtaken Sharp, and Saarinen was in third, but then he crashes. A third of the way through the race, we had Wexler crash the first time through at an earlier race. That didn't happen this time, but Saarinen crashes on a race that they were going to destroy us on. So, a decision is made to pit here and go to soft tires to try to finish up the rest of the race. That's going to be tight. So we're not going to be very aggressive with these. We just want to finish the race, stay as close to the top as we can. And they've just been steadily pulling away from us gradually. They're just faster. There's just no two ways about it. So let's go ahead and do this, and we're gonna stack up just a bit in the pits, but it's a 2-second stop under caution. So see if this works out. Looking more promising than it was until that misadventure for Nilo Saarinen, though. So here we are towards the finish, and things have improved a little bit. Maria Gonzalez, where is she at? She's in 7th. She did not pit during the caution, which was a big mistake. Had to pit shortly thereafter, fell down the field. And we were sort of sandwiched between Nina Holtz until Holtz pit recently, and then pit again to repair. But Holtz had a couple wide turns and then had some mechanical issues, so just a really bad situation for her. And now we're just waiting to see. There's only 2 laps to go, and I think Wexler and Sharp are not gonna pit. They're low, but they're not that low. So I think we're stuck here. But we had Surikov in the back of us, is the other thing. And here he's trying to come up again. His tires are finally dying a little bit sooner than ours, but we had to push our tires more than I would have liked. Which is why we've now got Lipinen in the red and Oliveira not that much above it. We had to push the tires periodically to hold off Nikolai Surikov, and that caused some problems. But now his tires are bad enough. Lipinen's are bad, but his are worse, that he's really seeing some speed decline. And we're safe here. Now the final lap, and neither one of, they're not going to pit. They're smart. They're just going to hold off. Wexler's got, what's he got left? He's got 15% left. But he knows that he's safe. So we might as well crank it up here a little bit on the final lap. But yeah, 4th and 5th beats the heck out of where I thought we were going to be. And it brings us almost even. You can see Scuderia Rossini and Panther and us, and Steinman just a bit back. I was rooting for Chapman or Holtz to beat Wexler, but that didn't happen. Wexler just sort of sprinted away after the caution. Not by a huge amount, but given everything that was going against us in this race, this is spectacular. We got some good luck in this one. We've had a bit of bad luck at some other places, especially Guildford, but I'm definitely going to take it because now we've got a real shot at this. Because we didn't lose much. Still got a couple of tough races to deal with later at the end of the year. Singapore and one other one, I forget what it is, but Singapore and Sydney, I believe. But we're going to be there we're going to have a chance at the end of the season to hold on to this. Wexler wins again. Good for you. Well done, race. And followed the same strategy. Everybody except for Chapman came in during the caution and put on soft tires. Chapman came in and put on mediums, but everybody else pretty much had the same idea, which good for them. They were just faster, able to execute it more. And Vasquez gets demoted, which doesn't really affect us at all. So Lipinen's still the points leader, but Wexler closing in with the recent successes. Oliveira and Chapman both moving past Saarinen with his misfortune today. And yeah, 22 points, so we've got a modest lead, about half a race's worth of points, far from safe. But we still are in the lead. You can see that neither of our drivers had a particularly good day. If they're going to have a bad day, let's pick the day. It's the worst race for each of them, although Oliveira has only been above 5 once, which is concerning. Came in third instead of the fourth we had last time, made some more money. And coming up next, we have Phoenix, which should be a little kinder to us. Top speed, suspension, and rear wing. And our car is, getting worse compared to the others. But we're still second there. Fifth in suspension, but you can see it's not that big of a gap to the better racers teams. And we have the best rear wing still. So all of that looking excellent for us. We should be quite competitive. The car isn't that competitive overall, but we should be able to be competitive at Phoenix. And if we can stretch our lead at all, then, like I said, we may have a chance at this. So that's going to do it for our little 4-race montage. He'll be back with the full treatment of Phoenix next time. Thanks for watching. More Motorsport Manager coming up soon, and hoping we can hold on to this lead.